Hello, this is Teri Morris here, and welcome to Tuesday Tips. Today I'm going to talk about SEO, search engine optimization. So I got a question about this last week, and so I just thought that I would spend a few minutes talking about that this week. If you have questions, if you want to go ahead and put them in the comments, and I will get to them. I know there's a bit of a delay, so if you can put those in the comments, and if you're there, maybe you'd say hello as well, so that I can just see who might be there. Okay, so last week I was talking about the mood board, and I was talking about a questionnaire that I give out for people who take my class, and because of a couple of technical issues, I ended up deleting the Facebook Live, but I did make another one available, and I also put together the worksheet in a handout as a download. So if anyone wants that, they can get a copy of that, and that is on my website, and I will put a link to that in the comments here. Okay. All right. So as regards SEO, so there was a question last week about you know, what to do. There's the new business and what to do about SEO. So SEO is a really big area. So it's probably good to know a little bit about it yourself. But in most cases, a lot of people actually get help with this because it takes a huge amount of time. It's a vast area. And I suppose, you know, if you can get involved in groups like this, or maybe even get a bit of online education, that would be helpful for you so that you can do some of it yourself, because it can be expensive as well if you hire someone else to do that. So just very briefly, I just want to give you some sort of general idea of SEO. There's what's called on-page SEO and off-page SEO. So on-page is what you do on your website itself. And there's a number of things that you can do. And what I would say is, it's like all of these SEO things, I would actually concentrate on your business and what makes sense for your business. Because sometimes you get tips and people will try to get you to do things that maybe are, you know, just don't feel very natural. And in general, if they don't feel natural, they're probably not good for your website anyways. So as an example, with the on-page SEO, normally you want to put in the header, you want to use words, descriptive words that are keywords for your particular area, the area in your industry. So say, for instance, like if I have a bakery, so I have a sample website that I use during my course called Teri's Tasty Treats. And if you, like I might want to have something like homemade baked goods, you know, cakes, whatever. Those I would maybe want to have, those are terms that people might search for getting to my website. So what I would want to do is to try to include those keywords in the, oh, hello, Veronique. What I would want to do is try to include those keywords into the headers, but also I would want to make it as natural as possible. So if you can include them, then that's good, but don't make them artificial. Make them so that when a visitor comes to your site, that it's very, very natural, because at the moment, the thing that's going to keep a visitor to your site is the user experience. And if they feel like there's just all these keywords just, you know, stuffed in there, it's not going to feel very natural, and they're not going to want to be there. So think about the user experience. Okay, so there's a number of things. So one is the thing about the keywords. One is your meta description, to use a very good meta description. One is the title for your website. You know, there are specific things that can be done, like whatever they're going to search on, you want to have in the beginning of the title. Whatever the main keywords are, you want to have in the beginning. Okay. And then other things like images. So if you have images, you want to put in the alt text for your images. And again, you know, use keywords if you can use them there. But in general, normally what is important for SEO is going to be things like how long people stay on your website. So make sure that, you know, you have good content on the website, and make sure that it's a nice and pleasant experience, and make sure that people can find information when they get there. So if you can do those things, you're actually better off Oh, okay. All right, thank you. You're actually better off if you can focus on your website. And then as regards the little tips and things like that, if you can put them in a natural way, yeah, go ahead and do that. Okay, so that's sort of the on-page SEO. The other thing to mention as well is that what's important for SEO changes every year. And that's why it's really important to keep in touch with someone who is maybe following it a bit more, groups like this, because it does change. So last year, Google made, they came out with an announcement basically saying that they were going to focus on mobile devices. And therefore, things like a responsive website, a website that changes, when it's viewed on different devices, that was going to be key for SEO. So responsiveness, the ability to actually view and have a good experience on a mobile device was going to be key, and also performance of your website. So the days of where people may have had a website and they would have had cheap hosting or whatever, you can still do that. Everyone's kind of conscious about the prices and things like that. But things like performance, the user experience, mobile devices, also location. Google is now focusing a lot more on location services as well. So local directory services are becoming much more important. So all of those kinds of things. Hi, Alina. Thanks for joining. So what I would just say is, the things about SEO, they do change. There are some things that stay the same. So what Google is trying to do is it's trying to get to a point to where you are focusing on the user experience. So if you're focusing on your business, the user experience, that's the main thing. And all those other things that you hear about, the tips and things like that, they're fine, but they are secondary to the user experience. So just remember that, okay? All right. So the other thing I would just say is that if you have a Strikingly website, everyone knows that I love Strikingly. Okay, if you have a Strikingly website, I think that for many people, you're going to benefit from an SEO perspective as well. There's a lot of people that are moving towards longer pages, and the reason why is because the bulk of what we see on the internet at the moment is done through a mobile device. It's something like 70 to 80% at the moment. So therefore, when someone comes to your website, if they can scroll, because people scroll on a mobile device, that's going to be better for them. So a longer page is suitable because once it loads, then people just scroll and they look at the content on the site. And if they have to click to go elsewhere, a lot of people just don't bother. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that when someone comes to your site, that they can get the bulk of the information that they need on that one page. And if you want to provide them with more information, if it's good, if it looks like it's something that they're interested in, they will come back. They might come back on a desktop where it's easier to read. So you can have multi-pages. Multi-pages are suitable for a lot of things, but the longer pages are very well suited for mobile devices, and that's the way things are going. Okay, so that's pretty much on page, what I'm going to say about on page. And again, I'll just say, if you have questions, go ahead and put them in the comments and I'll try to get to them. Okay, so the off-page SEO, what that means is all the other things on the internet that affect your search engine optimization. So I like to think of CAT. Okay, I think other people have other acronyms for them, but CAT for me is just easy to remember. So CAT would be consistency, authority, and trust. So consistency, what that means is that you want to have consistency on the web, consistency across the web for your name, your address, on Google Maps and things like that. You want consistency. That is hugely, hugely important. So for anyone who is looking, how can you improve your SEO? If you want to improve it, one thing you can do, an exercise you can do, is you can do a search on your own website and see where it comes up. See in the different directories, the different links and things like that, and see if there is consistency in all those mentions. So what I mean by, for instance, say if you have a company that is Smith and Jones. If you have Smith & Jones in some places, and you have Smith AMD, Jones, and other places, you do not have consistency. So you want to have consistency, and that is with your name, with your address. If you have some places that have maybe your error code in some places and you don't have your error code in others, you want to make sure that they're exactly the same, So you need consistency, okay? The other thing is on Google Maps. Sometimes there's multiple listings in Google Maps, and they might be slightly different. And what you really want is, it doesn't help you to have multiple listings in Google Maps. In fact, it will hurt you. You want one. You want one listing that has your address and name that is going to be the address and name that you have across the web. That is how you get consistency, okay? So there's consistency. So the second part of that is authority. So most people think of authority as backlinks. And yes, they are backlinks, but what you want to think of is backlinks from good sources. So if you're getting a backlink from a source that isn't very good, that's not going to be helpful for you. And the other thing is, Google is penalizing people who are stuffing the web with backlinks just for the sake of having backlinks. So again, I would just say, focus on what makes sense for your business, because, Google doesn't want people doing these unnatural kinds of things, and they will penalize you. So the best thing for you to do is just to really focus on your business. And if you have, maybe if you get a mention in a paper or something like that, it's very appropriate to be asking them for a backlink. But don't be going to loads of places and be asking for backlinks, especially just to get a backlink, because if they're doing that, they may not have high quality links. And therefore, you're having a site linked to you that doesn't have high quality links, and that will penalize you. So just don't do that, okay? So the authority is about getting good backlinks for your site. Okay, so the third one is trust. Trust is something that Google has put together. It's really to get yourself verified. So they're now using what's called Google My Business. And it's a very, very simple thing, but they want you to put information. They want openness and transparency, but they want you to put information about your business online. So with Google My Business, you put in your name, your address, you put in photos. You can put in like a video as well if you want, but all those things go into Google My Business. And when you set that up, they ask you to verify that. So when they ask you to verify it, they will send you a physical thing in the post. And when it comes in, you get a code. So it's a physical thing that is actually sent in the post out to you. And when you get it, you open it up and it has a code on it. And then you go back into Google My Business and you input the code. And that verifies that you are who you say you are. Okay? They're doing things because they're trying to come up with ways so that there's more trust on the internet, so that people have a way of trusting, the sites that they go to. So if you think of that, CAT, consistency, authority, and trust, that is what you should be thinking about on off-page SEO. Now, the other thing that is actually really important now, I'm just trying to think, where does this come in, is your reviews. So reviews, I would say, probably comes under the authority thing, or yeah, probably comes under the authority, or maybe under the trust as well. But if you can get reviews on Facebook reviews, or even on Google My Business reviews, those will help you as well. Those kinds of things will get you not just better SEO, but that can get you into the knowledge panel, which is the nice bit of real estate on the website on the right-hand side. When you do a Google search, the knowledge panel is on the right-hand side. So there's a couple of things that you can do there. Okay, so just is there any other questions? I just thought I would go over that because there was a couple questions about that last week. And if I'll just wait here for a minute. I suppose while I'm waiting for questions, I just let you know I do my courses. Okay, I do my website in an hour, my website in a week. And I am having a special this week because the kids are all on midterm break. So if you know of anyone who might be interested in that, if you want to let them know, they can go to my website at www.websiteinanhour.net and get €20 off this week only. and that is for the midterm break. So if they use the code midterm, MIDTERM. Okay, is there any other questions? And I hope that has been useful. So that is my sort of Tuesday tip for today about SEO and business online. Focus on your business, focus on your user experience, on your clients and things like that. And I think that's where you should be investing your time and energy. Okay, thanks for coming. I'll let you go. Take care. Bye-bye.